Hello survivors, welcome to a brand new Soulstone survivor video. Today we are playing on the Myrmidon because all of you asked for an RC Veins video, so we came up with something that will work. We were originally going to use, the skills from the Myrmidon. We're going to go try and scale Frozen's Shard. Unfortunately, Frozen Shard, the damage, the amount of stacks of RC Vein you can get just doesn't add up with the way that I play. There's probably a way to do it out there, just I haven't got that way yet. And I wanted something that was kind of friendly for anyone without, doing some weird and wonderful way of getting it. So we are going to be using the Glacial Trident still because that seemed to do quite a decent amount of damage. It does a plus slow as well, which will be important. And then we're going to use the skill from the Machinist. We're going to use Ice Resonance. And then we're also going to be running the Elementalist's Frozen Warhammer for our damaging skills. So this deals damage based on your slow stacks, but a lot of our damage is going to come from the RC Veins as well from all of our skills. So those are the skills in today's video. We are running ourselves Reroll Mastery, a Skill Mastery Ice to get the Resonance and the Warhammer, and then Skill Inclination Ice so that all the other character skills that aren't Ice don't really show up when we're trying to get them. We then run Devastating Blow to get the increased damage based on critical strike or multiplied by 3 on crit, and we can only have 3 skills then. Elemental Power to increase the damage of RC Veins. Efficient Focus to decrease how many stacks are required to trigger RC Veins. And then Battle Prowess, because that will allow us to go Prowess to Resilience, which is going to give us some armor, much needed defense. So let's get straight into it, see where we can go from there, and let's go defeat the Titan Lord with this build and see what happens. Hopefully it's enough damage. What's really nice is though I like Glacial Trident being able to do what it needs to do. We're going to start with VALKHES and Revolt because they'll have I think they actually have slow to brittle, and then they've also got the general what is that skill called? The devastation. Right, let's see what happens here. Just trying to get to at least level 2. Now, some things that a lot of you have been asking me is how do I get this to stay like this? So you'll be playing the game. If you go into settings, under general, the auto level up is off. So you just got to do that. There is also auto aim. I keep mine on. But if you hold down your right click while you are playing, you are able to turn or manually aim over there. You can actually see it in the corner over here. It does tell you. This reflects whether you are currently on or off. You can toggle it by quickly tapping the middle mouse button or by holding down right click. So the game actually tells you that you can do that. We also just got a nice big slow to disarray. We need one more source of disarray. Oh, do you know what? Ice Vortex would have worked. This is physical though. Ice Vortex would have worked. The thing is though, we're going for the battle proficiency as well, so prowess stacking. So it's just better that we have that. Also, Myrmidon's Ascension, as you can see, we gain critical damage, armor, cast frequency, and movement speed. I kid you not that the actual Ascension itself deals a whack ton of damage as well. So don't be surprised if you see our fervor, or I don't know what they actually call it. Let's just see what the skill breakdown's called. Oh, that is the Glacial Trident. No, Ocean Strike, Oceanic Strike. So don't be surprised if you see Oceanic Strike in the top list of damaging skills in today's video. Also, like last time, because we're stacking RC Veins, we want to grab the powerful strikes, and then we also want to grab the damage for Frozen Warhammer, except the damage for Frozen Warhammer isn't that important, but it is important. I think this time we might land up taking some Leviathans, so I'm not going to get rid of it, and we'll just keep it for when it is a little bit more, when we've got more movement speed. If we get enough cast frequency, so if we get a lot of Relentless, the cast frequency buff or passive, it's called Relentless, if we get enough purple ones, we will land up taking some Leviathans and stuff, because we will go, I mean not Leviathan, sorry, we're going to land up going for Misa hits, costs, gives us form, so that we get more critical strike chance, because some of these skills like the Glacial Trident do have quite a low cooldown, or a decently low cooldown. I mean, we've got 1.2 and 1.9 seconds, so it does make sense to kind of just go for a little bit of form on hit or form on skill cast. It just makes sense. There we go, there's the last one. I was looking for you. I like this build because there's a lot of beams. Increased critical strike chance of Oceanic Strike. No, we're going to go and stack a little bit of slow. We'll take 2 of them. And then there's our Power SC. That's why we're going this. Ass to thrust. No, we want ass to slam so that we can get this going. So I'm actually going to banish that because we don't want to see it further. And then we'll grab those and the power up option. If you're wondering what RC Veins is, there is actually those balls over there that are getting shot. That's RC Veins. And the base damage is 1200 damage, and then they also apply slow. There is something about the Myrmidon. A lot of people will probably wonder, hey, how come you have that green circle that keeps popping up? What does it do? That is those little creatures, these Murloks. Kind of like the Houndmaster. The Houndmaster has those pet dogs, and each dog does something different. I don't know, you have to go look at all the videos of mine, or I'll try and find the actual stats of the dogs and what they do. I know his first weapon dog provides wounded, which is one of the best debuffs in the game. But the Murlok or the Myrmidon actually works in a very similar way. It will be put on the screen for you guys to see, but essentially what it does is they're going to give us an RC Veins buff as well, so we are able to be a little bit stronger. And also the Myrmidon is one of the first characters where their ascension changed the fields on the battlefield. So as you can see, it's now raining, or it disappeared now, but you could see it was raining there. And this was the first character that did that, and then the next character, or the only other character that does that, is the Cursed Captain. So that was really, really cool for them to add into the game. And I thought it was really, really nice to see something like that. Also, I love the fact that we're getting those upgrades over there. Ask to slam, that's exactly what we wanted. And we're going to look for those when we're playing, when we get the Divine Legacies as well. Oh, this doesn't have Divine Legacy. I'm like, why am I talking about Divine Legacy? I'm just so used to always having Divine Legacy that now that I don't have it, I'm like, hang on, what's actually happening here? Alright, Frozen Warhammer is a close skill, so we do need to get up and personal. Need to just make sure we dodge at the right time, because we don't actually want to be taking damage. Also, I don't know if you saw that beam on us, but there is an attack that they do that you can't dodge. You have to just get out the way, and it's that little beam attack. So we can go for the slow to brittle. We are going to do that first. It's just a huge amount of damage increase for any skill. So as long as you've got slow stacks, 2, you should be able to do that. We're then going to go shattered. And then we'll go for the... I think we actually have to go for another slow to... Not slow. We have to go Disarray to Disorientated as well. We've got 2 stacks. Or 2 sources. So we can do that as well. So we have to go back to the Cobalt Brothers. We don't need a lot of cast frequency on the Frozen Warhammer, because I mean it's based off of how many slow stacks you apply, but I mean as you can see we got some really decent AoE going on over here. And also with the RC Veins providing us with slow stacks as well, it's just really good. Okay, we need a bit more movement speed though. Cast frequency is good. Cast frequency, we'll go flat out damage. Normally I get rid of the damage, but in this case, because we're trying to scale the RC Veins, and RC Veins scales off of your character stats, getting general level, general power upgrades is going to increase the damage of your RC veins. So that's why we're doing it, just in case you skipped in the beginning and you came to this part. I don't like doing them, so we just skip it. It is only always a one cost. It's not worth the amount of time you have to spend on the objective. Developers, if you're watching this, please change it. No one likes the void presence. And it's only bad against summoned units anyways. Totems are invulnerable. Your character can literally just walk around with it on. Yeah, I don't like it. Alright, let's go laugh. More slow stacks, movement speed, critical strike chance, very good, 99. Damage over there, some armor, cast frequency, and critical damage. We are going to get disoriented, so we should be fine with our critical damage amount as well. Going a bit slow because we don't have a lot of, you know, anything. Slow to disarray, magnetic, and movement speed. And right now I'm manually aiming so that the frozen warhammer will hit the bosses. And that's something I do during boss fights, and then when it isn't a boss, I turn off the... I just stop holding down my right click. So now I'll turn off the right click, or stop using it, sorry, and we don't have to worry about any of that any further. We're going to go for the multicast. I don't need agony, we're not going bleed or anything like that, so we'll grab that. We're going to grab this Leviathan, very good damage upgrade. Ask to slam and a multicast, I'll take both of those, and some more critical strike chance. Now we did lose a little bit of movement speed, but that damage increase that you get from it is a general damage upgrade, so 30% damage modifier is very, very strong. And that's why we grabbed it. And just for a little bit of loss of movement speed, it's really not that bad. What else is really nice here is because we're slow stacking and every single one of our skills applies slow, even if we don't hit the enemies or bosses with Frozen Warhammer just yet, we know that when we do eventually whack them with that hammer, it's going to deal a massive amount of damage to whatever we're going to be hitting. Also, what's really nice is the Myrmidon can heal using these guys. Okay, this will be the last one. Of course, it's the boss fight sitting in the corner for us to get completely destroyed. Ask to slam. That just means every time we apply Glacial Trident or Ice Resonance, there's a chance that we get a Frozen Warhammer to go off. And that's what we want. We want that extra damage. Whoops, laser beam. I just ran straight into it, which was so clever. Alright, there we go. Fantastic. Let's go get our Shattered on hit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh my. That was like the best upgrade chances that I've ever seen. A relentless... Oh, that was so good. That felt amazing. So we're actually only on 55% cast frequency increase, which isn't a lot, but we just got a whack ton from that relentless. Alright, this guy, just got to apply all those slow stacks like I mentioned. Stay nice and close. And bam. So if you want, you don't need to use the Frozen Warhammer, you can use Ice Vortex. But what's really nice is you get this combat expertise. You've also got the Shattered. Just things like that are really, really strong. So if you want to go past 5 Overlords, this is definitely a way to do it. Now, I just need to try and think who, again, had the Disarray to Disarray. I think it was VALKHES. If it's not them, at least we get the Devastation, so it's good. And then if it isn't them, then I think it was the... I came ill-prepared, okay? It's the Spider. But usually I'll just put it down in the descriptions, so it's easier for you guys. to know what it is instead of just guessing. So don't really stress too much. If I don't get it this run, I will say what you should get inside of the description for anyone who's following about and wants to know. Alright. Again, just manually aiming to make sure we're hitting the right targets. It just makes things go that little bit faster. Pick up our Ascension. Oceanic Strike also, again, deals a lot of damage. I also believe it does apply slow, but I could be wrong there. Okay, let's go more slow stacks, more movement speed. We're on 127% crit. We'll get to about 150, and then we'll be in a much better spot. Critical strikes now plus slow is good. Again, we need as much slow as possible. Nice thing is slow doesn't have those damage increases, and neither does Disarray. It's just literally stacks of it that you apply, which is really nice because it doesn't fill up the skill tree, I mean your passives, with upgrades that you're not going to use. So like Doom, Poison, Burn, Bleed, they all give you those. Bleed deals extra damage, deals damage faster. Like, they're all very good passives under the right build. And for this build, you literally just need stacks of slow. So luckily, slow doesn't have you apply more damage, or I mean, it could be quite cool if it's like you deal more damage based on how many stacks of slow on an enemy, but that doesn't exist unless it's on a weapon, like Frozen Warhammer. I mean, a skill, but you get the point. Is there another fight? No. I thought maybe there was another one. Okay, there's a 2 right there by the boss room, so we're going to go do that one. Let's just level up 6 times. Multicast, that's a nice one, 16% increase. Multicast on that as well. Movement speeds needed, we are losing some, and we can actually grab both of these. I guess we can go with the critical strike bonus being increased over there. That rare upgrade, this Blessing of the Depth, to increase the critical damage, you can only get 5 of them in total. So do take them when you see them. I've been skipping it, but you can take them. They are very powerful, especially on the Myrmidon, since you know that's how easy it is to get your Ascension. You literally just defeat things and then you can get your Ascension. It's not like one where you got to run around, hope you get what you're looking for. Type-esque thing. An extra dash is very good here. And then the slow stacking. Over there, I don't know if you saw it, but we got a green touch of ice over the grey one usually. All that does is it makes it apply more stacks per hit. So it just increases the amount of stacks you apply per hit, which is actually pretty good for the type of build that we are running. So awesome for that happening that way. Getting healed by our Murloks. That's on every single weapon of the Myrmidons. It's not something I actually went over, but the Myrmidon has 4 different Murloks. That will be down in the description to know what they do. And does he? No, it's not him. So we'll go for the Devastation, and then we'll go and we'll beat up ARUANAK. I'm so sorry, community manager, but we need your blood. We need your blood money. Let's see. I could have gone for the movement speed there. I probably should have, but we didn't. We'll grab it there, get more Disarray, more ice to slam. We're on 32%. I'm going to banish this so it stops showing up. Damage increase, and what is our increased damage? So RC Veins actually doing quite a decent amount of damage over there. Not the most amount of damage like Radiance, but the fact that it's in 2nd place is actually really, really good because Oceanic Strike deals a lot of damage. But Warhammer is just a really, really strong skill. And the fact that we're going, I mean, you can just see us over there just hammering. Look at the hammers go. Ding, 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 ding. That's so funny. I love it. What's nice about this, I mean, okay, you can get a lot of area of effect for the skills. So if you grab those, it makes a big difference. But what happens is essentially, we just got a lot of damage for it. Essentially what's going to happen is the area of effect around it gets bigger and bigger. So what I was going to say is that the R skills, or at least specifically these ones, don't really cover a lot of your screen. So playing on 100% visuals is really nice. I do love builds that you can play where the visuals aren't a problem. So this is one of them where... And what I mean by problem, I mean sometimes it's really difficult to dodge skills when you can't see what's happening around you. And in this case, you can see absolutely everything. And I really like the way that the arse looks in the game. So I've always been a really good fan of arse skills and Frozen Warhammer. I think I have a lot of videos where we are actually playing with Frozen Warhammer. Alright, last fight right by the boss. We won't auto aim this time. Let's see what happens. It's only a... And there we go. Luckily we get fully healed before we actually fight the boss. Get cast frequency, area of effect's good, some armor's good there. Health, get ourselves to 150 crits. If we can get to 200 crit, that's even better. Nearly there. The reason for that is critical strike chance, or crits can multi-hit, or you can multi-crit. So essentially what's going to happen is if we have 100% crit chance, we are going to crit every single attack with every single skill. Every time it goes off, it's going to crit. If you get to 200%, it's going to crit twice for every single hit. So you're actually doubling your damage by getting 200%. And then you can work on even more critical damage via other means. So here we get the Disarray to Disoriented. That increases our critical damage. I wasn't sure if it was the Kobolds or if it was ARUANAK, but it is ARUANAK. And then if you wanted to go further, you'd keep switching between Brokenth and VALKHES to get the damage and cast frequency, and then also the devastation upgrade from VALKHES. So if you wanted to go past the Void King and see how far you can push this build, because I think it has a lot of potential, also because you get the resilience, you're going to be running quite a few decent upgrades there. Also, by the way, we go for Battle Prowess because Prowess increases your damage modifier in your tree. So we'll actually take a look while we're busy fighting over here, see how many Prowess stacks we actually end up getting and how that affects your damage stat in totality. And we'll see if it's actually worth doing it. So we'll see now. Just look at the green number over there. If it goes to about 400, then it's definitely worth it. But we'll see. This looks like it's definitely worth it. It's not 400 yet, but if you look at our damage modifier, nearly 400% increased damage. And again, like I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be increasing the damage modifier of your RC veins as well. So it's actually everything. Even if you're playing minions, the prowess buff is very, very good because it's going to go and increase that as well. Okay, this is a 40% increase. That's only 30%. So getting this is much better. We get a damage increase of 50% for both Arse Resonance and Frozen Warhammer. That is beautiful. Arse to Slam, 40%. We get a 15% over there. That's why it's not really well worth it. Like, this on its own is 30%, where a rare increase to just the powerful strikes is only like 15%. So this gives us far more damage. The only thing is it doesn't increase the damage of RC veins or of your ascension or anything like that. So sometimes it's worth it to go for powerful strikes or to go for the Leviathans. Other times it's not. Just depends on what you're trying to achieve from your build. Like I mentioned, unfortunately, when you try and just spec into RC Veins on its own, it just doesn't do enough damage. I had a run, I'll actually show you when we go back into the base, or after we finish this, I'll show you my match history. We did a build with the Myrmidon, where again we used his skills. We did the skill to try and deal more damage based on how many stacks of RC Veins we had. And take a guess at just which skill dealt the most damage, besides for RC Veins, because we actually managed to do the most amount of damage with RC Veins, but again, it wasn't enough. So, besides for RC Veins, you would have thought that the RC Vein stacking skill would have done a lot of damage, but out of the 3 skills that we had, besides for RC Veins, the RC Vein stacking skill actually didn't do the most amount of damage, which is really weird because all the damage modifiers were being stacked on that skill. So the fact that it didn't do the most amount of damage is really, really bad. And that's why I say maybe I just haven't really looked at it, or maybe I haven't really paid much attention to it, but maybe there's a skill on Elementalist or on one of the other characters that uses Arse that scales off of RC Veins as well, that will do a whole lot more damage than the Trident skill that Myrmidon has. But Myrmidon was the introduction of RC Veins, so I thought we'd use the RC Vein original character to do the most amount of RC Veins damage as possible. That was a super quick upgrade there. So it's only 20% cast frequency for an Epic Relentless, but it is really, really strong. Damage increases there, multicast, we don't need that anymore. Glacial Trident, we don't need the damage, so we'll just go for slow. We're going to grab that as well. Oof, it's just so good. We haven't really had to use any rerolls here. We can use a couple there. There's Ask to Slam. Let's see what else we can get here that's purple or up. Or rare. Multicast works. Critical strikes apply Disarray. We haven't had that. Cast frequency is good. Here is the upgrade to this. Increase cast frequency but reduce area. Increase critical potency. No. Increase critical strike chance. We will go up to 285. That could be pretty big. Or we're just going to go with this because that's going to be affecting RC Veins. That's a really big power up actually. I forgot that you can get those from the corrupted voidlings, so that's huge. Massive amounts of damage increase without any potency stacks. We're already on 345, so that just means we're going to whack so hard right from the start. I'm actually going to show you quickly the stats of the Frozen Warhammer as well, as soon as we've stopped, as soon as we told to kneel. There we go. So Frozen Warhammer's got 337 additional damage per stack of slow. So besides for the 7,000 base damage, it's also got 340 damage based on the slow stacks. We're going to see if we can get to about 200. There we go, 200 stacks of prowess. So went to 392 with 8k base damage. So quite a big jump there. So these guys following me, these summoned are artifact power, and they actually increase how many slow stacks we apply. So every time they hit an enemy, they also apply slow, which is very, very strong as well. I do love doing Titan Hunt though, every time we beat the Corrupted Void Hunter, and each phase of the Void King gives you the Void Essences. Screen shake, no. My eyeballs, they burn. See, in a case like that where it's something lowering, screen shake's fine. But generally screen shake in a game is like a pet peeve. I cannot stand it. But I wonder if we are going to... I mean, I don't even need to dodge any attacks. We also got 3 million prestige, which by the way is nearly the same amount as a full level. That's probably about from 0 to level 150. Maybe, roughly. Maybe between 130 and 150. But that's generally a full skill tree. You need about 5 million to 6 million XP to go from level 0 to level 170. The king! Let's see what we've got from the Void King that could be good. There we go. Fragility. Alright, anyway, we don't need that. Let's go take a look at the match history so I can show you. This one over here, Frozen Warhammer, is completely bonkers. I love it. I would have loved to have kept going there. Let me know down in the comment section, guys, if you want to see me go do as many rounds as possible with a build like this one. I just want to show you the matches. Click on Titan Hunt. So here's the one that we were looking at. What happened is I went with a Glacial Trident and Arctic Assault for the Disoriented, and then I tried to go Thrust to Ice, which I did land up getting quite a few skills of, but as you can see, Icy Veins dealt the most amount of damage, and then Glacial Trident was dealing more damage than Frozen Shard, even though Frozen Shard's damage stacks per stack of Icy Veins. So I had a huge amount of damage upgrades on Frozen Shard, and it still didn't do more damage than Glacial Trident, which is beyond belief. I mean, it's not that much more damage, but the fact that they are so close in damage is absolutely bonkers, and I just couldn't beat the Corrupted Void Hunter with it. So we did something like that one over there. Also, these are me testing things. I personally just go and exit the run, except for this one. I think I tried to see how far I could go, and we absolutely got destroyed at the end of it. So that one is a defeat. But yeah, so there you go. Let me know what you guys thought about the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.